is time to go lights out with the one and only Curtis Francois, founder and owner of World Wide Technology Raceway. Curtis, when you embark on something like this, I know there's a long history behind it, but what made you think, hey, let's go out and do one of the most difficult things there is in the world right now, is to go after getting a racetrack and getting a cup event?
You know, John, to be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea how difficult it was. So I didn't know what I was in for. And so, there was no anxious moments. I just went right after it. Figured, I've built a business or two over my life. I'll just go do this. And my goodness, it's been a journey and rewarding on so many different levels.
So, Curtis, looking back on the beginning of this whole thing, you have a racing background as well, don't you?
Yeah, it really that was a big part of, I think, why I was led to this venture. I certainly have competed around the country at a lot of different racetracks over the years, particularly in the 90s and all through the 2000s, and that allowed me to see racetracks from a totally different perspective. I was seeing it from behind the steering wheel. And that gave me that confidence to say, well, if I could drive a car, maybe I could own a racetrack. And once again, I just went after it and realized that there were two totally different things, but equally exciting, just in different ways. It's been great to see the world from behind the steering wheel, but boy, seeing it from behind the desk here is a different view entirely.
So, Curtis, if you're looking at the beginning of this racetrack and what you had to do, if we know the story right, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, that you had other owners, other investors too, but their idea was to try to get money out of the grandstands and scrap this whole project. How difficult was it for you to convince everybody to hold on to this thing, which is now a St. Louis gem?
Well, John, it actually kind of went that there was when Dover exited the St. Louis market, the racetrack went back to the original owners of the property, and that's who I worked with. And they were all getting up there in years and were interested in finding an exit. And what I learned once I started peeling back the layers of the onion here is that they were in a bit of trouble. It was time that they found someone else to take over the racetrack, because simply the tax bill for keeping this monstrosity running was significant. And so that's where they had the idea that they had to pay the tax bill. One of the great assets they had here was all of these grandstands and all of the aluminum and all of that. And ultimately that was one of their potential solutions. Thankfully, I came along at the right time before any of that happened, and I purchased the property and the grandstands and the entire facility ultimately from them. So they were wonderful people, by the way, and it was really neat for me to see their joy when the racetrack reopened, and they were around long enough to kind of see some of our early successes here, and really to see how that was coming together. It really made some special moments as they saw what they originally envisioned actually happen.
So, Curtis, one thing you guys did at the beginning of this thing, which I think is absolutely remarkable that you guys took the time to do this, there were some mistakes made by different groups when they went to have that first cup race. And we had the honor and privilege of being with you guys on that first race that you had. But you guys obviously did your homework. You didn't have the traffic problems. You didn't have you took care of the fans so well that not only did you guys sell out the first time, but just about everybody came back because of such a great experience. And I don't think that was an accident, was it?
No, it wasn't, John. I look at so much of what we do from being just a genuine fan and having participated in racing, having been to so many races as a fan before I ever got involved in the industry. I know what it is like to go to a great event. And so much of that great event is the feel. And to know that the fans that are there are appreciated and one that we are looking for fun things to do and things that make memories for the fans that come out to spend their entertainment dollar at our facility. So anytime there's a first, there's going to be things that we have a chance to learn from. But we went at it hard to make sure that we were getting people into the facility and just tremendous investment in infrastructure to make sure that we got the people in. But we also realized there were things we could do better. We improved our concessions dramatically from that first year. And now as we keep moving forward, we're finding more and more ways to really just re-engage and engage new fans. We just are completing a major renovation to our Wallace grandstands here in the Turn 1 and Turn 2. And that is really, that was a project that was meant to meet a need that we realized there was not enough hospitality options for our corporate partners. And so we've added a number of new outdoor suites. We've added new opportunities for loge box entertaining. So smaller companies can come and get a loge box with, 8 or 16 people and, just have a great afternoon watching a race and just enjoying each other's company. So we're always leaning in to find a way to enhance the experience. And this year, as you would expect, and you've seen the crowd out here, we're expecting another sellout crowd and another great Kenny Wallace live with John Roberts. I think that's been a big hit, and it's going to be fun this year with all the crazy stuff that we do. You've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the credit goes to Chris Blair with what he's done, the kind of promoter he is, together with you. You guys, it seemed, Curtis, you guys embraced from the start what a lot of people were talking about at the time, but not necessarily doing at racetracks, was creating that carnival atmosphere, was creating so much more of an attraction other than just the race. Now, the race is the product, and the quality of racing at WWT has been fantastic, but I think not only getting the fans in and out safely and comfortably, but you guys put a lot into it. The music there is fantastic before and after the race. The hospitality areas inside from the get-go were second to none. And I think, again, Curtis, it must not have been an accident. You guys must have really thought all those things through.
From the beginning, John, I recognize that it's so important to empower people with particular talents and just lean into them. And Chris has no shortage of ideas for sure. And I would say I have a few myself from past adventures and things that we look at to really try to relate to fans and making sure that I think they recognize we have a sense of humor and trying to just have fun. So it was the perfect partnership when he and I joined forces to start promoting races here and figuring out what we know would work, and then not being afraid to try things that might not work. But you know what? Our wrestling is coming back again, professional wrestling on the Midway. That was a long shot to throw in there, but it was hugely popular last year, and so that's coming back. And this year we're adding Watermelon Adventures with Ross Chastain. I got to leave it at that. I'm sworn to secrecy on what that means. But we have the Shed, which is our new concert venue out in the campground. And so there'll be concerts going on throughout the weekend in the campground. It's just all of these things that not everything's going to work, but for the most part, we've had great success with introducing all of this crazy stuff. And we hope that people take it in the sense that it's meant. It's meant all to bring camaraderie and make memories that last a lifetime.
So, Curtis, when you get invited back to a place in business, I think that's the biggest compliment. But also for you guys in your business, there's probably not much of a bigger compliment, not only than to continually be put on the schedule, but to go from a regular season race now to a postseason race. How big of a sense of pride did you guys get when NASCAR said, "Hey, we want a playoff race at your place"?
Well, we were obviously thrilled. And what I liked about it the most was it just validated um, it validated all the hard work that's been done to make a new Cup City out of St. Louis. Our community has embraced it. Our business community has embraced it. Our fans have embraced it with selling out the races. And I think, when you look at that, there's just a sense of satisfaction in a community that has leaned in, trying to do the right things, and then that's recognized. And clearly, NASCAR recognized it. I think they recognize there's a long future here in St. Louis. And to be honest with you, John, we're just getting started. We are not resting at all on our laurels here. And I think there is a lot of cool things that are going to happen here in the future.
It was a long time ago, Curtis, but I'll never forget it. I had snuck into a place where Darrell Waltrip was speaking, and he was speaking to a group of younger people. And he said the best thing you can do in life is to find your passion. And therefore, you're going to be successful if you find what you're passionate about, because then you're going to work really hard at it. You and your group obviously show so much passion towards racing. I know sometimes we see the people that are in the forefront, but man, it takes a small army of very passionate people, doesn't it, to put on an event like a Cup race?
It's amazing. And I think, when I talk to groups about what we're doing and all of that, and you start getting into the weeds a little bit on what our organizational chart looks like on a race weekend. And it's not for the faint of heart. There's an awful lot of moving parts that come together. But that's the other 364 days of the year that we build all of that infrastructure and the organization and training and bringing on tremendous team members that share our passion, that makes it all come together on race day. And I think it's just really satisfying for the people that are a part of our team here to recognize they are a part of history, as we're one of the very, very few tracks that have ever had a comeback like ours. And those that have been with me for the 14 years now, all I think feel a tremendous sense of pride, as well as the people that are coming in for their first year to say, hey, I was there and I contributed. All of that teamwork and it coming together the way that it does is not by accident. It's by hard work from all that are involved.
And you also, Curtis, have to have a good product, too. If you're selling, I remember I had a boss not too long ago tell me that you could put Tide on the side of a race car. If it doesn't wash clothes, no one's going to buy it. And I think you can have a racetrack. You can have great fans. But if you don't have a great racing product, I think the racing that's gone on at WWT over the years here has been yet another reason. Yeah, you want a great fan experience to begin with, but you also have to have quality racing on the track. And I believe we've gotten that out of your facility.
Well, one thing I couldn't do, John, was change how the racetrack was going to race. I'm just so pleased that I inherited a very racy racetrack and provides great drama on the track. And we're seeing it now, particularly with this generation car that we're running now. I think you're seeing the best of what the track has ever offered. We're seeing 2 and 3 wide racing, and those moments like that, they make the highlight reels. And I think there's been a great validation by drivers that are coming here and enjoy racing here. When I repaved the racetrack several years back, you just never know how that's going to work out, but it's turned out tremendous. Great grip, but also good tire wear. We had good tire tests this year. I think we're going to have a tremendous package as the drivers race this year in 2025. So many things come together. Some are certainly scripted. Some are through hard work, and some are just happen to be at the right place at the right time. The good Lord watching out for us. So we'll take all comers, whatever comes our way. We're thrilled with the product.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you on that sometimes you got to have a little bit of help from other places, but you also got to have help. Curtis, from the local authorities, local officials, I'm glad you mentioned a while ago that not only are there great race fans in St. Louis, but you guys clearly got some really good support from the emergency services, law enforcement, the kind of people that have to jump on board and have to be in sync if you can get the fans in and out safely year after year. How much do you rely on the local community to make a race work and to make a racetrack work?
Well, your community support, all the way from the governor's office to my local mayor, all of our local police, fire, it's foundational. And we have built this camaraderie over the years of the little engine that could, right? The track was closed, and we were able to reopen it, rebuild it, and build it into something now very special, so that anyone that's been involved has a sense of pride. We get the best out of everyone because they believe in the mission. Starts with the governor with the Enjoy Illinois 300, and then coming on early on to use this as a sponsorship tool and a tourism tool for the state of Illinois. But you know what? There'll be times where over the years I've seen our mayor out with his flashlight and in his Suburban with the flashing lights and helping get people out of the racetrack. It takes that kind of through and through support, top to bottom, bottom to top, that has made us successful. And I can't say enough about our community and how they come together to support what we're doing.
I know, Curtis, you guys are probably a little bit like a race team. When you guys finish an event like that, you can celebrate for a little while, but then you have to get back working right away again. But what's the feeling like for you, especially after the first couple, when everything was said and done, when you guys finally locked the door for the last time on the racetrack? How much of a sense of satisfaction did you get knowing the kind of work that went in to a project like this and how successful it came off?
Those are special moments. We actually do something that just developed organically, that after the race, when the last fan is out, we all get together at the end of that night. And there's several hundred of us get together, and sometimes we're down in Victory Lane, sometimes we're in the Turn 4 Club, but we get together and share the moment and make a moment out of another accomplishment of an event. And those things are something that I certainly never forget. Those times spent with people that have just given everything they could to make for a special event. And I can tell you some of the most rewarding times that we've spent together as a team happen that night when we get to share in the success of the event and really just celebrate the hard work that goes into it.
What are you seeing, Curtis, in terms of the sport as a whole? I feel this year, there's been we started the season out with the earliest ever Daytona sellout. And then after that, TV ratings clicked up. We got new TV partners involved in this thing. And there just seems like when you go to a racetrack these days, because quite honestly, there were times at the racetrack over the past few years, and a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. A lot of it was in the early 2020s, that we found, there was a little bit of lack of enthusiasm, but it seems to me like it's coming back. And I would imagine that you're in a very unique position when you're going out to sponsors and to local people that you get an idea of how popular the sport is. Are you feeling a good positive movement when it comes to NASCAR racing as a whole?
I certainly am, and I think that most in the industry are recognizing the importance of our broadcast deal that was done, and now seeing how that is coming to fruition. New partners, new energy into the sport. It just is always good to have new perspectives that are brought into the mix. So, certainly I would say that I'm biased. I'm a huge supporter of NASCAR and the leadership and what all is going on. But when I look at it objectively and purely from the business standpoint, when you bring in the strength of all of the new partners that we have, you can expect to see good things. There's so much wisdom and knowledge that has been added to the sport through the new partners that we're able to bring in on the broadcast side and new companies that are coming and becoming involved because of all of that energy. I'm certainly bullish, and I believe a lot of people are.
You know, a lot of people say sometimes they'll look at people that own sports teams or own stadiums, Curtis, and say, well, you know, that's just a rich dude having some type of hobby. But I think it's really when you talk to the NFL owners and you track owners and everything, you guys didn't get to the position you're in by not being good business people and by, you know, they always say that this is not the United Way. This is a for-profit company, and you have to keep that side of the whole thing. That it's one thing just to say you put on a great event, but you guys are also in the business of business, and this has to be a good business, doesn't it? In order for you guys to continue on to put so much into it, you have to make a buck, right?
Well, I think if you look at this as a hobby, that might last a little bit, but
Yeah.
it doesn't take long until reality sets in that it takes a tremendous investment to keep these monsters running. And you know, in particular, a lot of what we've done, John, and I think you know some of our story is we have to have a viable business here to do what our goal is to really to give back to our community and to help build a community in our surrounding area here. And so the resource and the ability to leverage the tremendous brands that we're working with here at the racetrack gives us that opportunity, but it takes the hard work to get in there and make it happen. And so I think as you're looking at the long-term sustainability, it has to be at some point a business model that can be repeated over and over, and it works with or without an owner that is investing all the time. You has to be self-sustaining. So we're working on that, and we're hoping to get there at some point. And I'm losing no steam whatsoever. As a matter of fact, we're continuing to reinvest because we believe in the future of NASCAR racing, and we believe in that it will make a huge difference in our community. And I think what we've done so far is showing that, but there's a lot more to be done, and we continue to work on it.
It's a little bit cliche, Curtis, but I think it applies to so many different things. When people tell you if you really want to do something and you want to do it well, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And those who sprint don't finish, don't make it to the end of the race. The ownership and running of a racetrack and the success of it over the years, I'd imagine that would be a bit of a marathon.
John, sometimes I feel like I'm sprinting a marathon. But catch me. It depends on when you catch me. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, it is. You have to have a measure, and you have to have measure success. And if you swing for the fences all of the time, your average is not going to be very good. So we're out there making it happen on a daily basis, and making sure that we have the little wins that keep this track running. You know, we're busy. We have 300 and some odd event days per year. Our karting center is busy all the time. We have a very robust league that runs through that. And, you know, also at our facility, we have drag racing. We have the import face-off guys. We have the drifting, and we have all of the other amateur events that go on. So coupled with a cup race and an IndyCar race and NHRA drag racing, there's all the things that we do on a daily basis to keep the lights on. And it's really important to fill out your schedule and make sure you've got people coming through the gates on a regular basis.
Well, you guys were the first to bring myself and Kenny back to the racetrack. I appreciate that so much. We're looking so forward to another great year with you guys, Curtis. You guys epitomize the work ethic and the showmanship and the promoting, skill, for lack of a better term, that puts together a great event. And there's a lot of us who really appreciate it.
Well, John, we appreciate you too. We look forward to see you in a couple of weeks here, and we'll see what type of hijinks that you and Kenny are going to be up to. And I'm sure that'll be an entertaining show. And just looking forward to all the fans showing up again here on September the 6th and 7th. I think we're going to have just a wonderful, wonderful event, and just looking forward to seeing all the fans and you guys when you get here.
Curtis, can't wait. Thank you for the time today. We really appreciate talking to you again. Can't wait to see you.
Great to be with you.